Most men don't wreck their lives with one huge mistake. They do it quietly, by living the same day again and again and calling it life. Wake up, check the phone, see someone your age winning, drive to a job that feels pointless, and then tell themselves, I'll start tomorrow. But then nothing changes. Everyone calls it burnout, but a lot of the time, it's not burnout. It's just a man stuck in a life that doesn't fit him. The worst part about losing yourself is how silent it is. No breakdown, no dramatic collapse, just small pieces of you going missing. You stop looking forward to anything. You stop trying new things. You stop imagining a different future. Just an alarm, then commute, then a work that drains you, all with surface level laughs. Then you go home, scroll until your eyes ache, sleep, and repeat. But from the outside, everything looks fine. You have a stable job, a normal routine, nothing that's obviously wrong. But inside it feels like you're carrying your own coffin while you're still breathing. There was this night that I just sat in my car after work. Engine off, the phone in my hand, scrolling, watching people my age build things, travel, chase something that mattered. But I wasn't angry. I wasn't jealous. I just felt this truth. Nothing in my life was changing because I wasn't changing. I was waiting for motivation, for the right time, for life to somehow rearrange itself in my favor. But life doesn't rearrange itself. It reflects the decisions you keep dodging. Here's the part most men never say out loud. They don't hate their life enough to change it. They just hate it enough to complain. If you can't stand your job, but you stay, if you're drained by your routine, but you repeat it, if you picture something bigger, but never take a step towards it, the issue isn't no opportunity. It's that comfort is winning. Comfort doesn't scream, it whispers, you're doing okay, don't risk it. But every time you stay where you don't belong, some part of you goes dim. You're not just protecting a paycheck, you're defending a prison. Look at yourself honestly. Which version of you feels alive in your mind? The easy version that never takes a risk? Or the sharpened version with something to prove? You don't get to keep both. Either you break the routine, or the routine breaks you. At some point, every man hits a quiet crossroad. One where there's no audience, no speech, just that one night where it's you and your thoughts. Do I keep pretending I'm fine, or do I finally become someone else? Maybe that's you right now, late at night, watching this on your phone, alone in your room, wondering, is this really it? But here's the thing. The second you press play, some part of you admitted, I need more than this. That tiny admission matters. Most people numb that voice with noise and never hear it again. Change will never be convenient. It will feel awkward, heavy, lonely at times. But staying the same costs more, because the bill doesn't show up today. It shows up in 10 years when you realize nothing changed but the calendar. So you have one job. Decide. Not I'll try. Not I'll see. Decide that this version of your life is not the final draft before anything in your life actually shifts. One thing has to wake back up. Belief. Not fake positivity, but the decision to accept that a different outcome is still on the table. Think back to when you were younger. You didn't run every dream through a calculator, you just assumed you could become something more. Then life started stacking hits. Breakups, money problems, rejection, people leaving. Now there's a voice that tells you you're too late, too regular, too tired. But you don't have to argue with that voice. You don't have to obey it. If even 1% of belief is still alive in you, that's enough to move. Belief isn't the finish line. It's the signal that says start walking. Tomorrow morning, before you touch your phone, look in the mirror and say, I'm not repeating the same year 10 times. You might feel ridiculous, but say it anyway. Because here's the part that separates the men who change from the men who just watch content. Thinking different doesn't change your life. Moving different does. Not next month, not when you feel motivated, but today. You don't have to fix your whole life this week. You just have to win the next 10 minutes. After this video, set a 10-minute timer, not an hour, just 10 minutes. And in those 10 minutes, update your resume, open your bank app and actually look at the numbers, do push-ups or take a walk, clean one corner of your room, delete one app that's swallowing your time, message one person you've been avoiding. I don't care what you do, just do something productive, because the action itself doesn't need to be impressive. It just needs to be real, because action creates momentum, and momentum quietly rewrites who you are. Imagine you're underwater. Your chest is burning. Everything in you wants to stop fighting. And you get a tiny breath. Then another. Then another. That's how you rebuild a life. Not in one dramatic rescue, but in a series of small breaths you refuse to quit on. 5 small wins in a day, stacked across a week. That doesn't create a new you overnight. It creates a man who no longer abandons himself. This should give you hope. You are the main reason your life looks the way it does, which means you're not powerless. If you built this reality by default, you can build another one on purpose. Every decision is a vote. Another night of scrolling, another skipped workout, and you're voting for regret. But 1 hour of focus, one honest conversation, one workout finished, and you're voting for a future you're not embarrassed to meet. You're not a background character in your own story. You're the one holding the controller. So stop acting like the game is playing you. Pick it up and choose the next move. There will be days you miss your old life. Days where this new effort feels pointless. Days when nothing seems to move. That's when motivation dies and your reason has to carry you. You need a reason that's heavier than comfort. The dad you refused to become, the man your younger self needed, the family you don't want to let down, the future where you're not begging for bare minimum. I'm changing because blank matters more than staying the same. When your brain looks for an exit, you don't negotiate. You read that line and take one more step. So tonight, write one sentence. I must change because blank. Fill in the blank. Keep it in your wallet. Put it on your notes app on your phone. Open it every time you're about to self-sabotage. Most men try to handle everything alone, not because it's noble, because it's safer than being seen trying. A lone wolf can get by, but a pack moves further. You don't need a huge circle. You need one or two people who are done lying to themselves. People who will say, "You're slipping," and not let you pretend they didn't see it. So find someone today, someone you can count on, an accountability partner where you can train together, work beside each other, talk honestly about where you're losing, because when you fail, and you will fail, your pack is what drags you back to your feet. And if you can't find that someone, hit the subscribe button and join our pack, because right now, there are two versions of you waiting 1 year down the road. One of them is grateful you started when it was uncomfortable, grateful you stopped abandoning yourself, grateful you're willing to feel stupid and keep going anyway. But the other one is bitter, because he watched another year disappear while he scrolled, complained, and just called it being tired. The gap between those two men is the decision you made today. Now push it further out, 10 years from now. You will come face to face with the man you could have been. Same age, same face, different choices. One of them will shake your hand. The other won't be able to look at you. You don't control everything in life, but you do control which man you're walking toward. So stand up, feel your feet on the floor, take one slow breath. This is it. Not one day, not when things calm down. You have very little to lose by trying, and almost everything to lose by standing still. Most men die inside lives they never truly chose. You don't have to be one of them. Start proving it today.